Tropical vibes. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're at my buddy's house right now. Not working on the 335 drift car, but today we have a 2023 M340, which is sick. It's a coworker's car. These come with like the B58, 8-speed, all that jazz. M Sport, big money, something I could never afford. But today we got a cool deal. Gonna install some KWV3s. And I was just looking up on YouTube, like, you know, how to do the install, which it's fairly simple, just coilovers. I just wanted to see what we had ahead of ourselves, but I didn't find any videos with the KWV3, so I figure I'd film it real quick. First things first, I know everyone's asking, with these new G20 models, where do you jack it up? Well, underneath, right here, you see that? That's the jack point right here. It looks like it's all plastic, but we just jacked it up from there and it worked out pretty well. So, as always with any other coilover job, take the front wheels off, take the strut tower bolts off on the top, and then there should be a few bolts here connecting it to the knuckle. Looks like a 17. My buddy Nunez looks like he just sprayed it. Always spray down your shit so your bolts come off easy, but I mean, this is a 2023. Should be fairly easy. And then the sway bar end link right here should be like a 15 or so. And then boom, boom, swap out the struts and then we'll be good to go. So I'll put the camera down, get to work. And if I see anything different, I'll pick up the camera again. So 5 minutes into the job, just a 17 mil for the sway bar end link. And then another 17 mil for the strut, which also holds the brake bracket or brake line bracket. And now separate the strut and then pull it apart. All right, so remove the 2 bolts, and I guess with it being a new car, it was super stiff. Like usually when I just like spread this knuckle apart, kind of just drops down. So what we ended up doing was just taking like a pry bar and then against that fancy dampening thing, kind of just pried it down. And so I was able to drop the strut out. On to the next side. Once you remove the 2 bolts, with the newer car, just take the pry bar and kind of put some pressure so you can drop it down. Usually in older cars, you know, when you like loosen the bolt, it just drops, but yep. So my buddy kind of balled out on these $2,300 KWs. Something I could never afford, but they're the best of the best. But I guess the V3s don't come with top hats, so you use the OEM top hats. So my buddy Raul has been a mechanic for like 20 years. And this fool didn't even use a spring compressor. He just took the impact and look at this. I always see the YouTube videos where it goes like ka-tunk, you know, like, I guess you can do that. Anyways, we'll be utilizing the stock top hats with the new V3 coils. Which these are sexy, man. I heard they ride amazing too for BMWs. All right, so utilizing the OEM top hats with this sexy KW coilover. Okay, so when you guys are installing the original OEM top hats to the KW coilover, just raise the spring a little bit, just enough so you have some threads on the top, get it started, and then with that spring being raised like that, provides pressure once you put the impact on, and that's how you're able to get the nut on. Otherwise the shaft will just keep spinning. So quick little tip. Okay, so top hats are in, coilover is in. The only thing she had to remove from the stock ones was this little vibration damper thing, which is actually pretty heavy. Got all the brake bracketry back together, just like how you took it off. And now we adjust for height, make it equal on both sides to get a starting point. Throw the wheels on, take it off the jack stands, and it should look pretty good.
No, it makes sense, yeah. Bro, I'm eyeballing it.
All right, so everything was on there tight and everything, and then my buddy Nunez was like, hey, make sure your shit's tight. And I did make sure it was too tight. So we're just gonna run to the store real quick and grab a new bolt. It's a shame. I knew it was going too smooth. Something had to break. Moment of truth.
Do we need to put anything under the wheels? That jack should slide out. Never mind.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Moment of truth.
Oh no. Yeah.
All right, we got the bolt on the other side. Now I just want to take the wheel off on this side and lock this collar. There's like a little Allen in there, and you can actually use the little dampening tool that comes for the top to tighten this as well. Pretty much just locks it in place. All right. Looks so good. But for now, we're just gonna actually raise up the rear, maybe like half an inch, because the rear sits lower than the front. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, so as I was saying earlier, we did get started on the other side before I left, and then they ended up finishing the job because we had to run to Lowe's and get that bolt, and then by that time I had to get the kids. But the back is super simple, right? You got one bolt holding the shock at the bottom. It's a little plastic guard, like 210 mils, you can just remove to drop down the bucket to put in the new spring, and the spring perch up top. And one tricky thing, my buddy Nunez, like every other coilover job, I mean, you know, he's been working on cars for 20 years, I've been working on cars for 10 years. They're always at the top, but these are at the bottom. So 2 E-torques right there, and then you'll be able to pull the shock out. So the rears are actually pretty easy. But for now, we're gonna raise it up half an inch and then see how it sits and go from there. So if you have any questions, just comment. Looks good. 2023 M340 M Sport KW V3s. Look at that. That's nice.